Assalamu alaikum. Peace be unto you. Shalom. Hotep. Assalamu Allah. Peace to the gods. Peace to the goddesses. I'm your brother in the struggle for peace, truth, freedom, justice, and equality. Brother Minister Alif Allah. Beloved, I want to share with y'all something from Our Savior Has Arrived, written by Messenger Elijah Muhammad back in 1974. I want to come from chapter 23, page 110, which is titled, He, Allah, Makes All Things New. Let's pause for a moment there, because we're going to go into some science from the messenger's message in this age of mess. The messenger says, He, Allah, makes all things new. Many people misinterpret that, mistranslate that, mistransliterate that. So they misunderstand it and give you misinformation on that. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad, the Bible, the Quran, never teaches that God or Allah is actually making something new. Rather, He, Allah, makes all things new. Think that over. He, Allah, makes all things new. I want you, for a moment here, close your eyes for a second. Imagine the entire visibility of the universe is removed. There's no ideas, there's no people, there's no earth, there's no sun, no moon, no star, there's nothing. But in that nothing, God has the ability to vibrate and manifest something. So the messenger teaches us, He, Allah, makes all things new. Meaning He's not going to make new things, but He's going to take the material universe, the very thora, the very atom of creation, and have it vibrate at such a fantastic rate of speed that energy, which can't be created nor destroyed, it transforms, meaning the old will actually transform into the new. This will happen on a spiritual level, a psychological level, a genetical level, a molecular level, an economic level, a political level, in each and every way. However, imagine you being in the darkness and God says, be, and behold, it is. Now, the Bible teaches us that, a day with the Lord is like 1,000 years of our reckoning, our mathematics. So we're not a patient people in a physical form, you see. We look at it like, wait a minute, you said be, and what you do? You like, I sparked the sun just now. Be like, I don't see no sun. I don't feel no heat. I don't see no light. Because you don't understand the thinking of God. O ye of little faith. Did not Jesus teach us that this race is not for the swift, but for those who endure until the end? Do you not remember that Elijah, the biblical Elijah, the prophet, he had to pray not one time, but 7 times? Did not Allah teach Elijah, there are 7 dimensions to the black man's mind? The physical, the emotional, the mental, the spiritual, the soul, the self, and the will. Anything you do is going to vibrate and be manifested on 7 dimensions at once. Many people don't realize that. So what do? They be like, oh, you're not getting no money. You're not getting no fame. You don't have the physical things. It's like, yo, that's the last dimension. That's down there. That's the lower self. That's the weak part. That's the easy part. I mean, you're talking on a physical plane. See, the gods start in the seventh dimension, the mind of God. They align their individual wills with the collective will of Allah God who came in the person of Master Fard Muhammad, to whom all praises are due forever. So we're going to go into this book of Our Savior Has Arrived. But when we go into this book of Our Savior Has Arrived, it's going to be hard for 98% out of 100% of y'all to grasp where we're coming from. See, faith, real faith, Iman is not about what you see, but what you know. Let me say that one more time. Faith is not about what you see in a physical dimension. It's about what you know in the mental dimensions. Our lessons teaches us in 12 Jews of Islam that knowledge is to listen, know, and observe. Knowledge is the foundation. Many of you listen, but you don't hear. Many of you hear, but you don't listen. Many of you remember, and then you forget. Because you're looking and you're making a comparison. You're trying to compare the new with the old. And you cannot juxtapose the new next to the old and make that comparison. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us comparisons are bad. You see, because you're using the wrong mathematics. You're using the wrong yardstick to measure the mathematics of Allah God who came in the person of Master Fard Muhammad. He, Allah, makes all things new. He's not going to make new things, but he's going to transform the old into the new. He's going to bring forth life from the dead. He's going to make a way in the wilderness. He's going to turn the deserts into beautiful rivers. Let's think about this. That law of vibration is a constant. You see, Elijah had to pray not one time, not two. He had to pray 7 times. You see, and every time he had that faith. He had that iman. And that faith of a mustard seed, he knew could move a mountain. He knew that we don't walk by sight. We walk by faith, you see? Meaning we are confident that Allah God will bless the righteous to be the winner, living or dead. Those of you that think you're going to be successful holding on to the old mind, the old idea, the old Islam, the old mythology, the old rituals. It's 2025. You're going to see in 2026, 2030, 40, 50, 60, on and on. That's over, fam. You're not going to be successful with that. That is not going to manifest. What's going to manifest is the new. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad explained to us in his first book, Our Savior Has Arrived, which is the last. He's going to make the first book, The Department of Supreme Wisdom, volume number 1 in 1957. The scriptures teaches us the first will be last and the last will be first. So the messenger never changed the message of Allah. So his old teachings are the new teachings and the new teachings are the old teachings. So in the old teachings, he told us that the old Islam will oppose the new Islam. Why? Because the old Islam or the old traditionalists, the old orthodoxy is going to want to maintain the status quo because that's how they make their money. That's how the 10% get paid the bills. They can't even imagine something new, you see? So when you see somebody come forward talking about, yo, don't you know that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad explained to us in 1972 in his interview, which is in book form, Elijah Meets the Press, that after him there will be no more local mosques or temples? that we would be gods over our own homes? Ask yourself, how many of you are teaching or practicing being a law God over and in your own home? Or how many of you are going to church or to the mosque or the masjid or to the temple or the synagogue or the church or the cathedral or the university and investing your willpower, your energy, your sakim, your God person in these institutions, and 5 years later, still broke. 10 years later, no peace of mind and contentment, money, good homes, and friendships in all walks of life. 50 years later, no peace of mind, contentment, no money, no friendships, and all walks. That's not the will of the supreme Allah God who came in the person of Master Fard Muhammad. But you'd be like, well, we don't see how this would work. We don't supposed to see it. We're supposed to know it. It's supposed to be in here. It's supposed to be Iman. It's supposed to be the faith. You say, you claim that you believe as the messenger believed. The messenger believed as the law God who came to the person of Master Fard Muhammad believed. He didn't care about the hypocrites because the hypocrites were those who worked in opposition of the true believers. He didn't care about the disbelievers because they remained blind, deaf, and dumb after you tried to teach them the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of themselves. He didn't care about the lip professors because they said with their mouths that which was not in their hearts. You see? So the Holy Quran teaches us in Surah 29 that we're going to be tested. The scientist asks us, oh, you who believe, do you think that you will be left alone on saying you believe and that you will not be tested? And indeed, we tried those before you, and we will try those after you, so we will know who are the ones that are truthful, and we will know, not have faith or believe, but we will know who are the liars. They be like, oh, surely we're with you. You know what I mean? We're going to soldier with you. This. And Dude Cornane told Musa, like, yo, my man, I don't think you're ready to soldier with me. Because the way I'm going to move, you're really not going to understand this. See, you say you believe the devil is the devil. Satan is Satan. The 10% is the rich slave. You quote the lessons. That sound good. But then when the real devil come with the persecution, the trials and tribulations, the tricknology, first thing you do, bow down to the devil. Oh, the devil is, you worship the devil as God. And what was the result? What is the result? Are you strong like you was when you was working with Master Fard Muhammad and the Supreme Angels? No, nowhere near it. Nowhere near it. You will never get back to that unless you submit to him who came in the person of Master Fard Muhammad. It's only he, Allah, God, that can make all things new. Let's turn our attentions to this. Now, the messenger says on page 110, chapter 23, he, Allah, makes all things new. I'm not going to read the entire chapter. It's a long chapter, beautiful chapter. But I want to share with you some of these beautiful jewels. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad says, and I'm quoting, he, Master Fard Muhammad, God in person, will create a new heaven and a new earth, a new Islam, and a new government and people. The new earth referred to is a new people who will change the old into such a great future that actually the earth will look like a new earth, and a new earth will be made here in what we call America. Now, many people misinterpreting the messenger teachings, they think that America is just going to be destroyed. No. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us that the actual hereafter is right here in the United States of America, in North America. it will be such a different look, such a different atomic vibration, that it will be transformed from the old into the new. You see, the angel of Allah, the message teaches us, will spark the atmosphere for 12 miles high. You see, it will burn America for 390 years. It takes 610 years to cool off. Just imagine that just on the physical plane. Now, there's 7 dimensions to that message, but let's go to the lowest, because that's where most of our people are at. They vibrate just on the physical. On the physical plane, if something like that happened, like say it happened to an apple tree, the tree burns 390 years. It burns the apple. It burns the seed. It burns the tree. It burns the branches. It burns the leaves. It burns the roots. There is absolutely nothing of the old in the new 390 years later. The carbon atoms have been absolutely vibrated or transformed into a whole new manifestation. But say 610 years later, some type of fruit come out of that. Now this fruit is different. This fruit, after 610 years with no pesticides, no pollution, no devils, as the Holy Quran say, corruption has appeared on the land and the sea on account of what mankind's hands have wrought. There's no tampering with this manifestation, this new organic fruit. We won't call it an apple, but I'm just, for this, little analogy, we're just going to say this new fruit. Now, the message teaches us that this fruit is going to be different, because the book of Revelations teaches us in the Bible that it's not going to take a year for it to grow. It's going to be growing like that every month, 12 times a year. The leaves going to be for healing, like the leaves is going to be the medicine. He said in the hereafter, there will be no medication in the hereafter. You see? The Quran teaches us that it'll be such a unique place that milk won't spoil you. Alcohol won't get you with a hangover. You see? Because God is the Most High. Think that over. Let us look at this. So the message goes on. America is the place where the new earth will actually take place. After 1,000 years of destruction of the fire that is mentioned throughout the Bible and the Holy Quran. In this, the prophecy of the Bible and the Holy Quran agree. America, as it is called, will be void of life after the burning up of the wicked in their world or their way of civilization, so that no one will pattern after them in the new civilization of the hereafter. This is the way of the gods. Let me read that one more time. This is the way of the gods. One God is not allowed to pattern after another God when it comes to universal change. He is to use his own wisdom. The white man brought about a universal change, and so will Master Fard Muhammad, Allah, God, in person, bring about a new universal civilization, even as Yaqub, the father of the white race, brought about a new universal wicked people and a wicked rule over righteousness. This is what is meant by the old passing away and a new coming into existence. There was a new world of the white race that came into a vacuum in our history. From the 9,000th year to the 15,000th year of our calendar history, a vacuum made in our past 16,000 years of 6,000 years, given to the white race to rule. We are now in the 15,000 year, the 16,000 year of our calendar history of 25,000 years. The rule of the white race terminates at the 16,000 year, and that year is the beginning of the black nation's rule again, as we rule before the 9,000 year of Yaqub's making. This is the beginning of what is prophesied. The 7,000 year, meaning the 7,000 year after the rule of 6,000 years by the white race, and in our calendar history, it is the 16,000 year, This is called the 7,000 year by the Christian writers. There's much more on this subject that I would like to teach and write, but the space is limited. Here the message is intentionally going over our heads. See, he's breaking down the 25,000 year Asiatic calendar. As we know, Dr. Yaqub was born 8,400 in the cycle, 8,400 years cycle, 600 years to make his white race, which brought us to the 9,000 year, plus the 6,000 years to rule, brought us to the Asiatic year of 15,000 year. All right. So the messenger basically explained there's much more in this subject that I would like to teach and write, but the space is limited. So the 25,000 year cycle, when we consider it, it's like, letting white folks rule for 6,000 years, that's a tiny fraction of the universal order of things. Now, I mean, we've been here 76 trillion years, and this is the first time we allow somebody to rule for 6,000 years, the lowest self. That's like, you can't even think how tiny and insignificant that is in the universal order of things. He, Allah, makes all things new. The messenger says, only the principles of the present Islam will remain the same. It is the black man of America who is referred to as the lost members or lost sheep of his people. The awakening or rising of the black man in America must come first. This is why I do what I do as a student follower of Messenger Elijah Muhammad's teachings. I take and sacrifice my time and efforts, my blood, sweat, and tears to make sure that the youth of this planet, the young black men around the world, black, brown, yellow, red, I want y'all to understand, I don't expect to physically see all this in my lifetime. But what I do expect is for y'all to get this. Not just me, countless other brothers and sisters are sacrificing to make sure that y'all don't get spooked up. See, most of the people is getting spooked up. They're thinking that it's about who got the biggest temple, who got the prettiest masjid, who got the fanciest mosque, who got the biggest mega church, who got the Pope of Rome got 1 billion followers. I mean, he got the Holy See, he got a whole city, he got his picture on money. You see, those are all on the physical plane. Not one of them is teaching you the reality of you. We're teaching you that you are to see God in the mirror. There is no mystery God. You produce heaven and hell by your thoughts, deeds, and actions on the face of this planet Earth, covering 196,940,000 square miles. The messenger goes on page 111 and says, the universal awakening of the black man must also take place. He is also blind, deaf, and dumb from the touch of the white civilization. They do not know themselves. They are referred to in a prophecy of the Bible as being a sleeping lion that must be awakened. As in the problem given to us by Master Fard Muhammad, they are referred to as a lion cage that must be let loose. In Isaiah of the Bible, we are referred to as a people who are robbed, spoiled, imprisoned, and a prey. And those who have us a prey will not let us go free. Think about that. Imagine a lion walking in a cage or a prison cell. Imagine being in a county, being in a private prison or in the county jail, upstate, or in the feds. You see what I'm saying? A black man, you're in a cell. A cell represents life. Every form of life starts as a single cell. Every building starts from a single dust particle. It becomes a brick, you see what I'm saying, or a stone. I mean, it becomes a wall, you know what I mean? Then it becomes a structure. But you don't build this pretty structure until you first lay that foundation. Now, that foundation don't look all pretty. It's all kind of dirt and junk inside that foundation. But the issue with the engineer is how strong is the foundation. If you build a strong nation on top of a weak foundation, it's going to fall. It's going to sink. You see, it's like the proverbial story of the three little piggies. I mean, the big bad wolf came. I mean, this one built a house of straw. This one built a house out of sticks. And this one built a house out of bricks. You see? How strong is your foundation? How strong is your structure? How strong is your infrastructure? How strong is your mind? How strong is your body? How strong is your determination? How strong is your faith? Will you be able to put up with the long stretch of time that you may have to go through in the struggle for freedom, justice, and equality? Most brothers and most sisters get tired. They just throw the towel and, man, they just bow down to the devil. If you look at what they're doing in 2025, they are absolutely bowing down to Satan. They, like, Satan, you ain't going to have no problems from me. You know what I mean? Master, I'm not rocking the boat. They just want to be comfortable because they scared. They scared. You got to understand, this is a dangerous and arduous and hard struggle. A lot of people, they talk that prayer, surely my prayer, my sacrifice of my life and death is awful. They not trying to do no sacrificing. They darn sure ain't dying for nothing. They ain't spilling no blood. They ain't going to see no blood spill. They ain't losing no money. They ain't losing no sleep. They ain't going through no hellfire. None of that. They wanted to be as comfortable as possible, as peaceful and coexisting and loving as possible. As long as Satan, Donald Trump, and Elon Musk, and the FBI, and the police, and the guards ain't messing with them, kicking that cell in, shake down. Because if you're God's man, you're God's woman, you're gonna go through that. You with Jesus? Oh, Caesar, throw him in the pit with the lions. If you really are a believer, you're going to suffer persecution, slavery, suffering, and death. But when you see the devil ain't worrying about you, because you ain't doing nothing or teaching nothing that he's worried about. You see? He know you frauding. I mean, you're not farting, you frauding. You're not a defender, you're a pretender. You see? You're saying that your life and your death and your sacrifice is all for law, but it's not. I mean, it's like any other organized religion. You pray as a Muslim and practice in Christian ways, as the messenger said in 17 Ways to Play Islamic Culture. Let me read some more of this here. The messenger goes on to say, he should be brought into a state of worthiness and the knowledge and reality of his great place into which Allah God in the person of Master Fard Muhammad will put him. He is to place him on top and not the bottom, because the bottom is where he is today, and make him no more the tail but the head. He is to become the head of civilization of the new world or new heaven or earth. He is not to rule over this people, but he is to be the ruler of self. You see, it's hard for people to believe that they're supposed to be self-believers. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad told us in Theology of Time in 1972, you have to become a self-savior. He told us in his book right here, Al Sayers Rav in 1974, you have to become a self-master. He told us in the Theology of Time, he said, you will be a temple yourself. You see? You will be a temple yourself. That's not a unique or new teaching. That's the original God's teaching. That's what the ancient gods taught in Kemet in Black Egypt. The knowledge of self, the temple of man. Y'all thought that in Egypt they was building physical temples. Those temples were nothing but symbols of the original man's being. Your body is the temple of God. It's a temple right here, family. It's a temple right here. If you could get inside this left hemisphere of my brain or this right hemisphere of my brain, I mean, if you could spark 360 degrees of knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, This is your natural ability. You're born with a 7.5-ounce brain, or what we call neurons, or brain cells, that generate a power equal to 1/70,000th of a volt of electricity. Allah teaches us that your thoughts travel on average from your pineal gland 24 billion miles per second. You can spark the atoms with your dominant ideas, your new way of thinking, your new way of moving. You're moving not as a believer, but as a self-believer. You're teaching as a poor righteous teacher, a 5%er who do not believe in the teachings of the 10%, the rich, the slave makers of the poor. You see that those that used to be 5% are now moving like 85%, mentally dead. They worship that which they know not what. They talking about the laws in you. I mean, Allah bless me. Oh, I pray to Allah, help me. Who is that mystery God? There is not a mystery God. The Son of Man has searched for that mystery God for trillions of years, was unable to find a mystery God. You see? So you have to look at the reality of what's happening on the face of this planet Earth. Many people just ain't going to get this. Know what I mean? Let us move on. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad, let me turn to page number 114. He explains some scriptures. The prophet in Ezekiel chapter 47, verse 12 in the Bible says that the Lord God will even make new trees and shall bring forth new fruit. In John chapter 13, 34, it prophesies that a new commandment shall be given to us, which will make you, quote, able ministers of a New Testament. Able ministers of a New Testament. 2 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 6 and 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 17 says that if any man be in Christ, he is a new creature. Ephesians chapter 2, verse 15 prophesies of twain, one new man, so making peace. The Bible in 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 13 prophesies, we look for new heaven and a new earth. And Revelation chapter 21, verse 5 says, he said, behold, I make all things new. Revelation chapter 21, behold, I make all things new. He did not say, behold, I make new things. This is the problem. People are bringing in a new God, a new mystery God. They're bringing in a new spooky teaching. They taking the power from you and placing it in a book, a Bible, a Quran, a Torah, a picture, a mystery God, some distant future when some savior or Mahdi or Messiah or Christ is going to come from off the clouds, or maybe out of the mother plane, or maybe from a distant alien planet and come down on earth and help you and solve all your problems. It hasn't happened. It will not happen. It will never happen. It's a lie. It's a lie, family. Spookism. 100% spookism. If you believe it, if you keep looking up, they will keep their hands in your pocket and keep controlling the minerals and resources on the face of the planet Earth in which you are living. Let us go on. The messenger says on this page 114, he says, they will become new creatures. The Holy Quran teaches us that he calls things to grow into a new growth. Here we have something which the Holy Quran says is worth praying for. Under the God of freedom and righteousness, we will grow into a new growth instead of growing into decay anymore. Also in the Bible, Isaiah mentions the long life of the righteous in these words, that a person 100 years old will be like a child, meaning that their age will never cause them to look old. They will have a freshness of youth, says the prophet Isaiah, and the Holy Quran also verifies the same. Allah, God, in the person of Master Fard Muhammad, to whom praises are due forever, out of his own mouth, said to me that he causes us to grow into a new growth, and that we would have the look and the energy of one who is 16 years of age, and our youth and energy of a 16-year-old will last forever. In that new life, there will be not such things as a stoppage or cease to beget children. As you may read in the Bible, Noah was 600 years old when the flood came, Genesis chapter 9, verses 28 and 29. That number 600 is very significant. Noah lived 950 years. The Bible teaches you that he begat children all of those 950 years. They claim that there are people today in certain parts of the earth who are way over 100 years old and they still beget children. This is referring to the Muslim people who live in the Himalayan mountains. On the earth, wherever it is fertile and with water and rain in due time, and in good warm climatic conditions, we find trees and vegetation produced the year round. According to a law of God's teachings to me, the age of the present earth is around 76 trillion years old. Of course, the earth's material does not decay fast, but it is decaying. Science proves this. Then the Bible and the Holy Quran verify these prophecies that everything will pass away or that there will be a gradual decay except Allah God himself. Holy Quran chapter 26 verse 3. Everything has a beginning and everything has an ending except Allah God himself. Allah God cannot be destroyed, for he is the maker of the present heaven and earth, and before these are destroyed, he brings in a new heavens and a new earth, or he reproduces the present one as the Holy Quran teaches us. Since there was no calculation of time in the beginning of the creation of the heavens and the earth, we do not know the exact time, but we do know that it took place. We do know that the material out of which it was made will not last forever. The moon is a good sign of that decay. Since the moon has no water on it, it has become a decaying mass of one's earth with water. I'm going to read further on. The messenger goes on to explain to us. Page 117. In the next life, which will grow out of the old life, there will be no such thing as sickness and drugs used in the human body for the purpose of destroying disease germs, because we will not do that which will cause disease or sickness. It starts on the order that the righteous shall not eat but one meal a day or every 2 days and eat better food. This will prolong our life and double and triple our life expectancy. To be blessed to see the next life is worth praying for, my black brothers and black sisters. The new heavens and the new earth are coming in now. The old heavens and the old earth are going out, as Peter prophesies in the epistles of Paul in the Bible. What I would like to say here is that the so-called Negro, or the black man in America up from slavery, as Isaiah prophesied, seeing a great light. It is impossible for this world to overcome the king or ruler of the new world of righteousness, freedom, justice, and equality. Number one, the time of the white race is up. That time has passed. The holdup is the slow awakening of us, the black people in America. Page number 119. The messenger says, and I quote, "To make all things new means to go to the very root of everything that exists. We are taught that we ourselves will become a new people. The Holy Quran teaches that he would cause the righteous to grow into a new growth. The Bible prophesies that you, the righteous, will be changed in the twinkling of an eye. The disciples of Paul did not know exactly what you would look like in that changed form, but they concluded, quote, you will be like him. Allah! Think that over. We're teaching you, as the messenger taught us, Allah is all of us. Every time you look at the black man, you're looking at God. There is no mystery God. See, once you get that, see, a lot of you, I know how you think. A lot of y'all are so intimidated, so brainwashed by organized religions. This is what they taught you in church and at Jumu'ah. This is what they taught you in the temple and the mosque. This is what they taught you in your fraternity. This is what your mommy taught you, your daddy taught you, your grandpa, and your grandma. They taught you about this mystery God. They taught you that God was some bright white light somewhere beyond the sun, moon, and stars, or some big giant white man with a long white robe, and he had a big white beard, and he got white angels flying around, and they live on top of a big white cloud, and there's all kind of white supremacy. This is how we've been indoctrinated, not just in slavery, but for the past 6,000 years. It's Yaqub's teaching. Yaqub taught them to contend with us on the origin of that first God. He taught them how to teach about a mystery God. You see? And it's intimidating because people be like, but what if the mystery God is reading my mind or reading my heart or watching me right now and I'm going to burn up in hell and I don't, I just want to be careful. I want to be safe. I want to have insurance. I'm going to have a safety net. I'm going to believe the black man God, but I'm going to hold on to this mystery. I'm not letting my mystery God go. That boy, I leap crazy in the mud. He think I'm the black man God. He want black men on earth to come together. He's saying that if black men on earth come together, they could destroy the devil, take over the planet, produce heaven on earth while we live. That's intimidating to 98% of y'all. I get it. I mean, but at the same time, I gotta give it to you. I gotta get the blood off my hands so that you cannot say that you did not hear the pure, raw, new Islam. You did not hear al-Jadi Islam, which is Arabic for the new Islam, over our Arik Islam, which is Arabic for the old Islam. You decided that you was going to hold on to the Arik Islam or that old Islam. You decided you was going to teach life after death and spooks and spirits and become an Orthodox Muslim and Ramadan and all this organized religious stuff. You decided you was going to travel 9,000 miles and go to Mecca and try to kiss the black stone and go to the walls of Jerusalem and try to kiss the wall and go to Jerusalem and see Jesus. All that pseudo stuff. It was easier. It's more money in that. It's more likes in that. It's more, people, that's where the world is at. I get it. But at the same time, I'm not even talking to 98% of y'all. I'm not doing this for likes and views. I'm talking to that 2%. I'm talking to 40% of the 5%ers. See, the rest, 60% of the 5% is still spooked out their mind. They're not going to be successful in this world or the hereafter. I mean, because they lining their mind up with Satan. They are still in love with money. I mean, not realizing that that's the root of their evil. They are afraid to give their all for Allah, who came in the person of Master Fard Muhammad, to whom all praises due forever, and to admit that the messenger's message will guide us through this age of mess. Hey, there's no compulsion in this deen. There's no forced faith. I mean, do you be your way? That may be mine. I'm not going to inquire about what they're doing, worry about what they're doing, wonder what they're doing, because I know a year, 5 years, 10 years, 50 years, when they die, they're going to die in failure with that spook mystery God stuff. It's not going to work. The only thing that's going to work, the only thing that's going to outlive our physical being is the will of Allah God, who came in the person of Master Fard Muhammad, to whom all praises due forever. Because you're going to see the future. They going to get it. see, one thing about this modern world, these modern day Europeans, modern day Americans, Elon Musk. See, they using the atoms of creation. You see what Trump sitting down with Ukraine? They like, no, what's important to us is those minerals in the earth. We know we can extract metals out of these rocks and build civilization. We can build rockets. Elon Musk know, like, in those rocks in Ukraine, that's how I get the electric batteries that's in my cars. That's how I get the minerals that fly SpaceX. This is how the cell phone works. This is how your laptop works. This is how the future is going to unfold. And they like, as long as we can keep black men blind, deaf, and dumb, we're going to rule for the next 1,000,000 years. The messenger teaches us in Message to the Black Man in America, the devil can rule for the next 1,000,000 years until we wake up to the reality of ourselves. And this is all what the struggle is all about. Let's go to this other page. Remember, walking by faith is not for the weak. It's hard, family. You got to pray, you got to believe, and you got to keep checking. See, Elijah had to keep checking. 7 times he had to check. Then they seen that little cloud, you know what I mean? And then it took and manifested the rain. Our lessons teach us what? What makes rain, hail, snow, and earthquakes? Answer, the earth's approximately covered underwater, approximately 3/4 of its surface. The sun and moon has attracting powers on our earth. My point is this. There is no mystery God that brings rain. You see? Rain is from cause and effect. Atmospheric conditions. I mean, so you got to understand, if you're on top of a mountain and you want rain, it's not just physical rain. It's spiritual rain. It's soulful rain. It's willful rain. You see? You need to understand the science of H2O. Hydrogen bonding with oxygen. You see? You need to understand how cause and effect works in the universal order of things, atmospheric conditions. Then you will understand how to answer your own prayers. White folks know how to make it rain. Think that over. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad goes on to say on page 119, to make all things new means to go to the very root of everything that exists. We are taught that we ourselves will become a new people. The Holy Quran teaches that he would cause the righteous to grow into a new growth. The Bible prophesies that you, the righteous, will be changed in the twinkling of an eye. The disciples of Paul did not know exactly what you would look like in that changed form, but they concluded you will be like him, Allah. So I had to echo that. He goes on to explain to us on page 121 about the white gods. Listen carefully. The white race are the gods of their world. So everybody to the white man the devil. They're not telling you the white man is also God. They're not telling you the black man is God. They're not telling you the black man is also the devil. They're not telling you in the black man there's a black and a brown germ. There's 2. See, they're not telling you in creation there's a proton and an electron. There's a positive and a negative force. There's a 5%er and a 10%er, depending on how you vibrating. You see? And people forget that part of reality. So they get spooked up thinking that everything is isolated and contained within itself. That's against universal mathematics. All right? The white race are the gods of their own world. The message goes on to explain the first way to bring about something new is to change the way of thinking of the people. When you have removed from the people the old mind and idea, then you can insert new ideas into their minds. This is done by the old being attracted by a new way of teaching, a new school of learning, to condition their minds to that thing that you are about to present to them that is altogether new and different from what they have been accustomed to. He goes on to explain, many times this wisdom is misunderstood and the people think that it is some example of the person. We say wisdom, power, and force. There is no power or force of power until we have the wisdom to produce it. he makes all things new. He teaches us that he could use nothing of the old world, and that after the removal of the old world, he is to bring about the new world. Allah God does not want the old God to think that he is weak in wisdom and knowledge and power to bring something altogether new without using that old wicked material. This is like the creation of us. In the beginning, the God who created us had no material to use to begin a creation. He had only himself. Therefore, out of darkness and the thoughtless and invisible, he brought out the visible vision and thought and idea. He made a brain which had the power to cover the sphere of our thinking and to produce from that thought what image or vision that the brain cells could conceive. These things at that time were all new. There was no plan or universe except his. This is our Father, the black man, the maker. The wisdom, idea, and way of thinking of Master Fard Muhammad, to whom praises are due forever, is superior to any way of believing today. There is no one to hinder his image or thought for that which has not yet been conceived in our brain. He goes after the root of all things like our Black Father did in the beginning when he built the universe out of nothing. He is as one sitting out in space with no material space to make something altogether new. He goes after the root in making this new world of people. As he said, first he makes a new mind for us and a new way of thinking. He teaches us a different education, one that we have never had before. He gives us education on the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of gods, not of prophets, but of the gods of the prophets of the past. He builds our minds according to the way gods think, and not the way of thinking of servants, prophets. The prophets of the past were inspired, and that inspiration was true. For the past 6,000 years, there was no God present who was superior to Yaqub. Our God and scientists were not permitted to interfere with the people of Yaqub in that civilization, nor in the way in which they were thinking. That is why they, white race, would kill prophets who came among them teaching the way of righteousness to the people, because of Yaqub's people. The white race was not to build a civilization on the basis of righteousness. The white race was to build a civilization just the opposite of righteousness, and this he has done. This is the reason why the God of righteousness and justice cannot use the white race's way of civilization. The God of righteousness must remove the white race's way of civilization altogether and build upon a new foundation. As I keep repeating, the thoughts, the minds of the people must be so conditioned into the way of thinking of that new world that we must not think in terms of the new world being a part of another old world. Even your education of this wicked world will not be a part of the education of the new world. See, when you're bringing in something new, you're paving a way. Now, I mean, you're making a way in the wilderness, or you're bringing about rivers inside of it. The people never seen that. They never heard that. So you got to understand, in that ignorance, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad warned in the Theology of Time in 1972. He said, stop pointing out the angels of Allah. Now, I mean, like people don't understand, as he said, the angels are men. They can be killed. You put brothers in certain positions and conditions. You don't understand the science. You don't understand sociology. You don't understand politics. You don't understand counterintelligence, COINTELPRO. This stuff is real. I mean, it's like in real life. It's like I can't come on YouTube and be like, yo, COINTELPRO, they just tried to set me up. Now, I mean, they sent me couple of hours to come speak here, this, that. I went out there, but it was an ambush. I mean, they underestimate your brother. I mean, I'm here. I don't know where they at, but I'm still here, family. Hey, how y'all doing? I mean, it wasn't as sweet as they thought, because the angels are militarily minded. The angels are mathematical in that way of thinking. They're strategic. We understand the reality of God. You think we could come in Islam law? You think we can run around this country for 40 years teaching the black man is God and the white man the devil and don't know some stuff? I mean, like for real, it's like, yo, you underestimating and doubting the angels of Allah of God who came in the person of Master Fard Muhammad. That ain't my fault. That's your fault. Hey, I'm gonna be like, yo, you know what I mean? Keep it moving. See what I'm saying? It's like, don't think for a second that just because you lose faith, I'm gonna lose faith. Don't think for a second that because you can't see how it could be done, I can't see how it's going to be done. No, we know exactly how it's going to be done, but we also understand what goes with that. Everything you read in that Bible, everything you read that Bible from Old Testament to the New Testament. What do the righteous go through when they come? You know, what did God tell Joshua? He told Joshua, step one. Open up your Bible, the book of Joshua. First thing God tell Joshua is this: listen, Moses, my minister, is dead. I mean, now this is what y'all gonna have to do. Now, in the old teachings, I gave Moses and Aaron a rod. I mean, and God explained, Jehovah explained, Yahweh explained, in the old teachings, I sent Moses and Aaron before Pharaoh. Aaron cast his rod. I mean, he said, in the old teachings, I fought for Israel. when they had to go across the Red, I parted the Red Sea for them. I let them get across, and I dropped the enemy. He said, but Joshua, I'm not doing that for you. I mean, he said, I'm not giving you a rod. See, the Joshua generation is different. God tells Joshua, he said, listen, I'm going to give you two things. I'm going to give you this spear, and I'm going to give you this shield. You're going to be on the offense, and sometimes you're going to be on the defense. He said, you're going to have to do something. He said, God said, I want you to be strong and of a good courage, because you're going to suffer. I mean, he said, but I want you to be strong, Josh, and I want you to be of a good courage. Read your Bible. Notice how God said that. God will be like, I want you to be strong of a good courage. Then he's going to teach you some more stuff. Then he's going to be like, remember, Josh, you're going to be in a situation, you have to be strong and of a good courage. Then God going to teach some more. Then God going to stop and be like, remember, Josh, you're going to have to be strong. And he's going to keep telling him that. You're going to have to, like, all through this Bible, you're going to be like the boy. You're like, damn, God, I get it. You say that. Why you keep telling me that? Like, boy, you have no idea what's to come. You see? You have no idea. You see? But Joshua, they was able to get the people across that Jordan River. You see? Those that listen, other ones, they just died out in the wilderness. You know what I mean? You know, it is what it is. I mean, the spooky, the kooky, as the angels told the people of Sodom and Gomorrah, he's like, listen, the only thing we telling y'all, don't look back. That old stuff, don't look. Lot's wife, look right back. She turned into a pillar of salt. She got bitter. She stopped moving out. She's like, yo, what's wrong? It's like, I can't even move no more. I ain't going with y'all. I don't mess with them Supreme, man. I don't mess with our leaf no more. It's like, hey, listen, we going to keep it moving. I mean, we going to keep this cipher rotating, you see? And what happens? It's 2025. And in the last 4 years, we reached over 500 million people worldwide with Salam Allah. We taught over 500 million people all over India, Arabia, Africa, China, Europe, white boys, Salam Allah, all that. Supreme angels everywhere. And that thing is, the Supreme Allah God who came to person, Master Fard Muhammad, to whom all praise due forever. Allahu Akbar. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad is his first, last, and only messenger. But we're not monetizing it. I'm not building no temples. I'm not making no shrines. I mean, we don't do the idol worship. My thing is, I want each individual to be a self-believer. Each individual to be a temple, to be the masjid, to be the mosque. Every day is their Savior's Day. I mean, they see the God and the goddess in the mirror. I mean, they be like, nah, I'll leave you. I'll be like, nah, at least don't even talk on the phone. I mean, you know, it's like, you got to understand the science. When you have 1 billion Muslims that believe Allah is a spirit, and you're teaching the teachers around Elijah Muhammad, do the math. It's at a minimum, there's 17,000 of them that's trying to get rid of you in every sense of the word, just for that teaching. I mean, you know, when Masih Muhammad went in the church and he taught that he was God, the message, he got hit in the mouth. Everything's real. I mean, everything's real. It's like it's no spook spirit. There's no mother plane coming down interfering. There's no angel come flying over from the east and protect you and from a cold knife or a hot bullet. It's like, nah. I mean, it's like I be on tip. Like I'm be on tip. I'm down north right now. I got my bag. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's like the angels are real. I mean, you know, the scriptures teach us that there's some angels that couldn't pick up the hot coals. The scripture, yeah, it was some angels, cherubims, you know, but they used tongues when they went to the front. They used these tongues to pick up. It's like the other angels came and used that bare hand and picked up that hot stuff. You know what I mean? Their understanding was different, you see? But you can't play with this. The message teaches us you play with Islam, it's like playing with fire, family. Think that over. Let's look at page number 124, where the message teaches us that even the old language will not be accepted in the hereafter amongst the gods. He says, page number 124, he said, as you notice the effect of thoughts on your thinking at times has such deep effect on the brain that it affects the surface of your face, skin, and body. Your eyes are also affected by that tremendous thought or way of thinking that you have as it acts upon your brain. Allah God makes it very easy in the next life, that new life. You will be happy all the days that you are in it. The Holy Quran teaches us that he causes the righteous to grow into a new growth. The basis or pillar of that new world is when the old mind has been changed to a new mind, or our thoughts are changed to a new mind, or our thoughts are changed to a new thought or new way of thinking, which brings about a change of the whole body. In the new world, you will not even be able to speak the English language. The speaking of the English language by us will be stopped. No language of the wicked should be spoken by the righteous, as there are some in Islam and the Orthodox Muslim world whom I have met myself, and they refuse to speak English, for it is an infidel language. This is the truth. English is a bastard language, for it is a language that is made up of other languages. It is a dependent language. So we see here why it is necessary for us to have a new language. He makes all things new. Go back to the very earth, as the prophecy concerning this change goes like this. The prophets say that they saw a new heaven and a new earth. We and the earth both will be new, because the powerful God, or the supreme being over all, has superior wisdom, and he will cause everything to grow into a new world from that of the old world. The curse of Yaqub and his people veils all of the earth and the atmosphere of the earth. After the removal of the curse of Yaqub, there will be a new way of thinking by a new God. He is superior to all other gods who existed before him. The power of heaven and earth will submit to his power, and a change is made easy and inevitable. For the heavens and the earth are controlled by the God of the black man. Allah, who came in the person of Master Fard Muhammad, to whom praises are due forever, he makes all things new in order to keep it from being said or written that he had to borrow some of the wisdom of this world. This would make him lacking of wisdom and power to produce something other than what has already been produced. Therefore, the Holy Quran teaches us that he has the power to destroy the entire universe and bring in a new one, and he can reproduce the present universe. I would like to say to the reader that you have that powerful God in your midst now. As the Bible teaches you, he came after the working of Satan, the wicked. He will not even accept you and me if we are not willing to be called by his name. You cannot keep the present name of the wicked and be present as one of the righteous in a righteous government. He makes all things new. In one place in the Bible, it is prophesied that you will have a new name. In another place, it is prophesied that you cannot see the hereafter unless you have a name of God. This is why the white race does everything that it possibly can to keep you from being called by one of the names of Allah God, which consists of 99 names. If you refuse to accept one of the names of your God, then you are the servant of the devil, and you go to his doom with him. The message goes on. This is why I mentioned earlier that you must have a name of Allah God, even to see the hereafter. The Bible teaches you, bring everyone that is called by his names. And the words follow that he has created them for his glory. Their minds have been changed into his way of thinking. Their minds have been changed into his way of thinking. How will the earth be changed? The Bible teaches us that he will burn the wicked up, and that wisdom will be destroyed by fire, and that after 1,000 years, this will bring forth vegetation, water, and trees. It will be new vegetation, water, and trees. It will not be the same as that which we have here today. Do not ask me what kind of vegetation it will be. That is 1,000 years from now. But I do know that the earth will bring forth new garments of vegetation from this destruction of the world of the wicked. The message goes on, page 128. When you make a new way of thinking in a person, he is bound to do something new. For he cannot do something other than new, since he has a new mind, new ideas. A new mind and new ideas produces a new thing. See, this is why they're mad at me. Because I'm sparking y'all into a new way of thinking. I mean, y'all like, damn. Y'all becoming self-belief. Y'all starting to realize, oh, ain't no mystery God. I am God. I mean, I'm making unmake myself. I put myself in heaven. I put myself in hell. I got strengths and weaknesses. I'm right and wrong. I'm righteous and wicked. I got a black gene and a brown gene. I'm the original man, the Asiatic black man, the maker, the owner, the cream of the planet Earth, God of the universe. You see? All powers proceed from Allah, not a mystery God. See? So now what happens if you're no longer in the streets hustling and you know, seeing your brother as your enemy, and you going to Jumu'ah and going to church service and going to mosque service and going to temple service and going to universities and all that kind of stuff? Now you're going to have to start analyzing and executing your will. You're going to have to start thinking new. You're going to have to come up with some new ideas. You're going to have to start moving differently. You're going to have to cut off a lot of people. I mean, you're going to have to make some new friends. I mean, some new brothers, some new sisters. You got to be around some new places. You got to leave some old places, go to some new places. Got to do some new things. But you're going to have to show and prove that you're God. It's not going to be easy. You're not going to get me coming to try to save you. I'm not going to, I'll help you to help yourself. I mean, but like that first God, the energy, the quantum physics of the universe, the law of vibration, it's like the atoms is there, when something's doing nothing, it's considered nothing. You know what I mean? So the essence is still all around you, but you're going to have to figure it out. You're going to make a lot of mistakes. Oh my goodness, you're going to make a lot of mistakes, family. So what? That's God. You're like that first God, he's producing hydrogen, helium, oxygen, iron. That's your job, to create out of this darkness a whole new light, a whole new universe, to make it so, to make it manifest, to show and prove the black man is God. That's your challenge. That's your duty. That's your nature. That's your purpose in life. Your purpose in life is not to be wicked and evil and be in a struggle for survival and trying to get the white man's money. And we ain't in the, no, we're the civilized people. I mean, we're merciful. Allah's Rahman ar-Rahim. You're the beneficent, you're the loving. You see? You're not supposed to be hating white people. That's spooky. That's not the teacher. How can we? That's for Muhammad's mother is a white Jewish woman. Do the message show hate on her? Look at what he talk about her. I mean, do he show hate towards this white woman? Of course not. He don't teach hate. He teaches the truth. The devil's the devil regardless of place and time. They all devils by nature. You see? But the message teaches us that the most envious and jealous is the black folks. You see what I'm saying? Don't let these pseudo scientists spook you up with the messenger's message in this age of mess. You see, they be like, oh, the black man, before the white man, we was perfect, we was holy, we were gods, we were righteous. Nah, nonsense. I mean, Master Fard Muhammad, Dambulaj Muhammad, would disagree with that nonsense. You get your message to the black man out, and you read the facts, not the fantasy, not the pseudoscience, but the real science, not the guesses and the hypotheses and all this pseudo stuff. Brothers come up with all kind of pseudo things. I mean, but one thing they not going to do, that I'm going to show you that I do, they're not going to quote the messenger's message in this age of mess. They're not going to show you where that's set in the lesson, where that's set in I'll Say It's Right, Message to the Black Man, Fall of America, I'll Say It's Right, How Do You Deliver Book 1, How Do You Deliver Book 2, Supreme Wisdom Book 1, Supreme Wisdom Book 2, Theology of Time, Muhammad Speak. They're not going to do that part. They just and they just going to come up with these hadiths that can't be verified by the life-giving teachers of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. You see? The messenger teaches us long before white folks. White folks been here 6,000 years. He teaches us, Dr. Yaqub Malik Shabazz, they was throwing the babies to wild animals and throwing them in fires and sending them to the cremators before white folks even came. That's what the nurses and the ministers and Yaqub and them was doing, his officials, if you will. He teaches us that before that, we had a war with the Hindus 35,000 years ago. That's way past 6,000 years ago. We was gang warring back then. I mean, we disagreed with each other and on the Asia Afro. I mean, we went into the Jones of Africa. That was 50,000 years ago. He teaches us that a black God man pseudoscientist who thought he could force everyone, it's compulsion. He thought he's going to force everybody on the planet Earth to speak the same dialect. And when he saw he couldn't get his way, this black God, before any white man was around, any white woman was around, any idea of a white person, this black God 66 trillion years ago decided in his mind, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to practice world genocide. I'm going to destroy the world. I'm going to kill every human being on the face of it. I'm going to kill all of the gods, all of the goddesses. And he physically went to work to try to blow up the entire planet Earth. He failed, but he did kill his whole tribe. He killed 1 billion people and made our moon. He, Allah, makes all things new. There will be no more new stuff, family. It's not that Allah is going to make new things, but he's going to use the law of vibration to transform the old into the new. For now, the struggle continues. But I want you to remember the key. The key is this. Only the messenger's message will guide you. Forget your homies and all others. Will guide you through this age of mess. Assalamu alaikum. Peace to the gods. Peace to the goddesses. The struggle continues.